and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Listen now. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Listen now. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Listen now. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Listen now. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Listen now. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show.
I'm here. Just FYI. I just got back.
Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll
I'm
conquer,
setting
no
up
room
the
for any
stuff.
less. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears.
Okay, we gotta. You can't see me. Whoop whoop. There I am. Okay. Voila. I was just looking at SQQQ. SDAO. I'm sorry, SDAO. Some of the leveraged ETFs I was looking at. Morning, Jacob. I mean, it looks like a shit show of a morning. I mean, Costco is even at best. Coke is even at best. Pepsi, even at best. And Exxon. Exxon is up 0.76. Morning, Mr. Travis. Brother. You remember I have the A. Thumbs up, by the way, if you're in here. I did install just before I start this shit show of a show. I did install a pop-up locker. So let's hope stuff actually works. Larry. I'm hoping stuff works. We got a lot. Get ready. Opening is bad. We got the VIX. We got long-term charts. I mean, here's the thing, and this is what. Morning, Laura, and Chase, and Leslie. Leslie, I wrote you back last night about your charts. Pull up QQQ, and if it doesn't look like this, I mean, first off, FYI, morning, Brandy. Dark mode saves lives. I mean, let's just be honest. Who likes light mode? What the hell is the morning wrong with people who like light mode? Oh, God, light mode is just, and it is the season of sickness. I haven't left the house since Thursday. It is fantastic. I don't know why people like live, but people like my ramblings. First off, I'm going to be humble, Gary, not crying, Gary, like Jim Cramer, but the namaste motherfucker comments may have gotten a little out of hand. But it was good. But here's the thing, and what you have to realize with the weekly here is we probably have more room to go down. I mean, this is the first week in November. Let's see, the candle, it opened at 486. Its high was 514. We didn't even touch under 500 last week. And right now you're at 502. Oh, perfect, Leslie. Yeah, Leslie, just I never try and push shit off to Trendspider, but I am not good at, how do I change this in Trendspider? Morning, AJ. Namaste, Miss AJ. I'm just not good at it. So the contact us button in the bottom right is by far the best way to get those guys. If you have questions, and they are much more timely than I am. You got lucky. I was on my computer. Most of the time on Sundays, I'm just in front of the TV watching football. But if you look at this, we still have 9% to go from the middle of last week. I mean, this low last week was 507, so maybe we don't have that much. No, it was more than one person, Laura. It was more than one person. And so I just maybe I was getting sick, and I don't know. I mean, it is what it is. But we got a big, I got tons of shit to go over. So let's see. Open with Google Chrome. There we go. Bitcoin is crashing. My Webull account, it is below 11,000 for the first time in 6 months. Open with Google Chrome. We got bank earnings. And here's just a reminder, and it's just a reminder. Sam Altman says people will lose jobs. And this was really good as well. This is a great. I think companies like Google and Apple will dominate forever. This is good. Morning, Chris. I like that one, and we'll go over that. This is Claude, and if you're interested in a money assistant, I actually found this pretty helpful, to be honest with you. And Claude is one of the tools that I try and work with from AI. I'm not very good at Claude. Warren Buffett, I mean, again, if you want some education, Warren Buffett's the greatest thing. This is from Tori Trades, and I included this about how to fix common swing trading mistakes. She had it pretty good. I don't think it was like earth-shattering, but it was pretty good. Undervalued, undercover dozen. This is a pretty good one if you follow in Seeking Alpha. Just because, I mean, they do find some gems. AI, these companies will likely benefit from AI. CES was just it was a catalyst, and we've lost it. This is interesting in that the Carvana CEO, when asked to explain his boosted profitability, it would take a while to talk about, and I would bore your viewers. I mean, we can look at that one. This is a great take on heat pump and Carrier. What up, Andres? I thought this was a good take and very well likely a good play. 10 large banks to watch from Barclays. And you can see I'm opening up a ton of links. I thought I did that one. Let's see. We'll leave it in there. What the hell? Yeah, this was good. Lots of charts in one valuation. Computer. I think AI, this is more about AI and stuff like that. This is 4 stocks. TMDX, which we know, got a short report. Adobe, I don't necessarily agree with it, but the logic behind stuff like this makes sense. Remember, I mean, this was just November 2022. That was what, 3 years ago? It didn't feel good buying. But anyone interested in applied materials, this is a good video. Now, I've only watched about 4 or 5, maybe 7 minutes of this. It's an 18-minute video, but it really is good if you want to invest in that because it kind of shows off what they're doing. Now, Apple, I'm going to talk my own book because let's see. Open with Google Chrome. Zuckerberg just went off on Apple. I will give you my thoughts on that. Just FYI, if you believe in Tom Lee, small caps can outperform. So you may want to take a look at that chart. Speaking of portfolios, Alpha Pix is still killing it. I mean, they just are. They just really are. And it's again, even if it goes down, as long as it beats the S&P, you should be good. For the OGs, you may remember ChatGPT Portfolio. That was interesting. This was a good video about a crash and what to do. So we'll get into that. I like 3M. I mean, that chart looks interesting to me. Monthly candle of QQQ looks very, very dangerous. Super, super dangerous. We're going to look up gold, GLD, because Trendspider has been posting about that. in their blog, and I thought it was interesting. I'm not a big GLD guy, but this particular weekly analysis I thought was really good. Let's see, weekly analysis, QQQ. Where's GLD? SPY, QQQ earnings, notable results, what's happening now, Uber, BlackBerry. I guess not. I guess it's not up there. Maybe I have to look it up. I don't know. Let's see. This is quarterly relative performance above 90. Scans help you focus. It's another scanner. What up, Andres? From Trendspider. So if you have Trendspider, I'll send that in the newsletter, but you really should be following. And Trendspider also had a huge data update. Just so you're aware, StockTwit's top watched dynamic watch list. I thought that was actually pretty good, to be honest with you. You can see, I mean, there's just so much to go over. Bank of America revises forecast, no longer expects any rate cuts in 2025. That's essentially what the market's reacting to. No rate cuts. Stock market's big battle this week, yields 1, AI 0. I mean, that's the big question for maybe the next year is don't fight the Fed. Long-term investors versus short-term investors. A small pullback of all-time highs. This is what I was looking at this morning. The VIX has spiked 8%. If you believe that we're going to have less volatility, go by SVXY. Fear and greed index is at 27. We haven't reached extreme fear yet. So we can go and look at Trendspider now. Morning, Mark. I am a bit under the weather today. I do have some sniffles. I'm looking at this screen just to make sure that Trendspider's showing up okay. Yeah, it's showing up okay. It's wacky. I guess I've got some, I don't know, I'm not going to mess with it. Every time I mess with something, I break something. So I do have a prediction about the California wildfires, and we will talk about those because Eric, if Eric is here, if Eric is around, I will mention it in the live. By the way, if you're here, there's 42 people here. There are 18 thumbs up. So just hit 19. Hit that thumbs up button. Just hit the thumbs up button because I got a lot to go over. It will be a long one today. I don't know that we'll find anything bullish, but let's take a look because this is the part of the podcast where I do scans and I look at the core investments. I look at everything in the 4-hour algorithm that's bullish. And if you don't have the 4-hour algorithm, you can get it. How can you get it? You know what? Let's scan Alpha Picks. What the hell? I can't show you the Alpha Picks. Ooh, ANF and Royal Caribbean. I can't show you the Alpha Picks portfolio, but I do have Alpha Picks as a watch list in Trendspider. So it's interesting. I mean, you know, hey, I can do that. Bitcoin and crypto, nothing. Covered call. These are income ETFs. For those of you that want income with high yields, XYLG and QYLG. And typically with these, I mean, you know, we can look at these. Typically with those, when you go and look at a weekly, boy, that's ugly. This is a global S&P covered call growth. So XYLG and QYLG, I think it's the Qs, yeah. And when you go and you look at a weekly, they should be going down, but these fuckers are just going up. And they're paying like 12% monthly dividend. So again, that list is in Trendspider. If you're interested in that kind of stuff, go over to Linktree. You click on this top link and you get this. Now, I steer people towards the top plan. We'll go over this, but the reason I steer people towards the top plan is because you get unlimited one-on-one training. So if you don't know what you're doing with charts, I mean, they can teach you everything about this tool. And that's what, I had several people email me this weekend, and they were asking me questions. And I said, here's the thing. I can set up this strategy for you, or I could try and help guide you, but I'm not a product expert. The guys at Trendspider are, and they were like, oh yeah, I signed up for unlimited one-on-one training. Let me make an appointment with one of them. And they went in and made an appointment, and, hopefully everything works out. I mean, that's the key, is you get an absolute expert to guide you through what to do. So they can't give you investment advice. Leveraged ETFs, we have a ton. We have SDAO, we have HIBS, all short, SRTY, MSFD, AMDS, NVD, all leveraged ETFs. So, Roger, I mean, that depends on your strategy. I don't think that hedging is a bad thing. We'll go over that because I do have that on my list. We can look at it from a 4-hour standpoint. We can look at it from a 65-minute algorithm standpoint. I don't think it's a bad thing. And I think the monthly candles kind of lead you to assuming if you want to hedge against a larger portfolio and make a short-term play. I do not suggest making those long-term plays because I just don't think that works. I mean, I'm a bull. So let's go to indexes. We're going to go to Dow right here. Nothing in the Dow. We'll go to the NASDAQ. I'd be shocked if we have a long list. Into it. I mean, if you don't remember Friday, because it was so long ago, Friday was a shit show. I mean, Friday was bad. Into it. Okay. And we'll go back to the strategy tester. And we'll go to the 4-hour. Because I'll show you. SDAO. I was just doing it. SDAO on the 4-hour. Got you in here at 43.95. And that was December 4th. And look, it's up 21% in 37 days. Now, SQQQ probably has you in about the same time. Let's say it just got you in January 8th at $30. You're at $31.84. And in pre-market, you are trading at $32.81. So close to a 10% move in just a few days. I will be right back. I'm going to put you on the countdown. I just got to go blow my nose, and I'll be right back.
Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Listen now. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart.
I'm back. My girlfriend just reminded me. Our New Year's resolution was to wake up at 6 a.m. and do yoga. We haven't been up at 6 a.m. to do yoga yet. That was a New Year's resolution. So UVIXY, I forget which one. Is this the bull or is this the, let's see, SVIXY. This is the short. So yeah, we want UVIXY. So I don't think UVIXY is a, here's my thoughts on UVIXY. And I've thought of this because I mean, Trump's tenure during 2020, 2020 and stuff, you saw that go from 65. I mean, it's almost broken, but, you were down here at 6,000 and it popped to 67,000. I mean, obviously this just keeps reverse splitting in order to, keep going. But I mean, UVIXY, let's see on the 65-minute algorithm. Because that's a little shorter term. That's what you want on UVIXY, a shorter term one. It actually beats buy and hold. It doesn't make you money, but it got you in on Friday at 22. I don't think that's a bad bet. I don't think it's a bad bet at all. But you'd have to assume that the VIX is going to go up. Now, if you think the VIX is going to go down because it spiked right here, because of the spike, then you would play SVIXY. And in my particular opinion, I think SVIXY, yeah, I mean, here's the thing. When you go and look at the VIX and you pull up the 1 day, and we can look at the VIX. I think it's SVIX or $ VIX. Yeah. CBO volatility index. I can't do the 4-hour on this one or any strategy tester on this. But when you take a look at this in a 5-minute, you can see it's bouncing up and down. I just tend to think that between Friday and stuff like that, it likes to live there. But I can't imagine it wouldn't be a good play. I'm not a guy that just so you guys know, I'm not that guy that does that, though. I used to be the guy that traded stuff like this. I'm not that guy today because I do this podcast. And so, that muscle hasn't been played yet. But in my mind, I mean, I'm looking at a 5-minute chart of the VIX and thinking that the VIX wants to be above 20. I really do. I mean, right now the VIX is at 21. 21, it's up 9%. I just, again, I don't know for sure, but I'd probably play one of those. I mean, let's just look at SVIXY. Because the short on SVIXY, if you look at a 5-minute chart on this one, it's lost its way, but you got a nice gap up there from Friday. 49. Is it worth the risk? I don't know. Yeah, it's hard. And Chris is it's one of those things that if you don't, it's kind of like commodities trading, like oil and stuff like that. If you don't do it and have success at it, it's like walking into the gym and saying, I can do six 45-pound plates, no problem. Your ass is in the gym on January 13th, and you just got to the gym for the first time this year. You ain't doing 6 plates. Just FYI, you ain't doing 6 plates. So you could wind up really, really hurting yourself if you try and go in too big and say that you have it. But if you trade stuff like that, Meek, then I would think that the VIX would go down. But just FYI, I mean, this is what scares me about this market is when you look at the 10-year right here, 4.78. right now. Okay. It wants to go down. I don't know that it does go down. I mean, that's as high as we've been in a 52 week. So my assumption is that earnings this week kind of, earnings is the savior this week is kind of my thought process. And until then, I think the Mag 7 gets taken down. I think there's a lot of froth, and I think, we could start to see. But if you just look at QQQ again, and you take this back to the election, I mean, the election here in November, you saw it pop up. That was at 504. Where are we right now? We're at 501. So it might seem horrible, but if your portfolio is balanced and it's got a good track, you're just back to November. So I don't know that I'm necessarily worried or panicking or anything of that sort. I'm just kind of, hey, that green line right there, that's a trend line. And we still got, 8-9% to go down to pull back. Now, I'm buying more IBIT. I'm going to buy, I got a ton of cash sitting on the sidelines and I'm nibbling. So, NVIDIA, I mean, you can't tell me that NVIDIA doesn't have the earnings to back up this stock price. The problem with NVIDIA is the market doesn't like NVIDIA, and it's because it's run up so fast, and it's going to be these percentages, the percentages of growth, and that 152% year over year revenue growth, it's gonna slow down, and so the market's gonna take that into effect and say, oh, you're only growing at 120%. Well, let's look at your valuation, because your PE is at 46. Maybe you deserve to be down to 20. Yeah, but Roger, I mean, Jamie Dimon was effing on 60 Minutes. You think Jamie Dimon's going and doing a great a long form interview on 60 Minutes if on Wednesday they announce really bad earnings? I don't think so. I mean, I take it with a grain of salt in that here's my thought process. And again, remember, I'm a permeable. I mean, this may not fly in the face of everybody everybody's thought process. But at some point in time, QQQ will get back to that 538, 540 level. That's almost a 10% move. So, I mean, that's my thought process on it. Okay, let me hit record because we're already at 9 o'clock. So I know I'm going to go long. I mean, you saw all the tabs I opened up. Hunter didn't see the tabs because he joined in late. But 26 thumbs up, 47 people in here. Just hit the thumbs up button. And if anybody has any questions, if you don't know the way this works, I hit record. You can chat all you want amongst yourselves. I'll come back. I try and ignore the comments unless I see a comment like, your audio's effing up. Or why don't I get a free newsletter on Saturdays? Why is it paid? Yeah, I mean, I can't. Do I think there's two things that I think in the world right now? I think Trump is going to measure his success based on the stock market. And I think Trump's going to base his success on the price of Bitcoin. And so I think that both things can be true. And I think he's going to do everything within his power to pressure Jay Powell to actually reduce rates. And I think you're going to have, if you have some constitutional crisis where he tries to replace Powell and then the market tanks, I think he's going to, throw that out there as a possibility, but I don't think there's, Jay Powell is not part of some, unforeseen. Jay Powell is a Trump appointee. He's not part of the dark state or anything. Hold on, my neighbor's texting me. Let me just copy this. I'm going to copy the Linktree form. Do copy and let's paste. There we go. Okay. AI tracking, because when I get up and dance, I gotta have the camera follow me. Okay. Okay, we got 28 thumbs up. 51 people and 28 thumbs up. That's not. Come on. Hit the thumbs up button before I'm going to hit record now. Good morning. It is Monday, January 13th. It's not Friday the 13th. It's Monday the 13th. Just so everybody knows, I will be crying Jim Cramer because obviously Friday I was in a mood saying namaste motherfucker to the people who complained about the paid newsletter, blah, blah, blah. But I won't be crying. I'll be crying over the market. I won't be crying over over the people who said, bitched about the paid newsletter. And it wasn't one person. Just so everyone's aware, maybe I focused on one person. It wasn't one person. I got touched. I pointed at the bear where somebody touched me, and then I started screaming. So it's a little bit out of whack. We got a big show, and it is going to be a while. So buckle up, Buttercup, because I got a lot of freaking tabs open, a lot of things to discuss. We're going to go over how the market's going to be in a shit show today, why, and the whole thing. We're going to go over the fires in LA. Because shout out to Eric, who asked me to put his GoFundMe. We will go over why I don't put GoFundMes on here, and I do get requests, but I'll tell you a little bit about that. We're going to go over gold. We're going to go over Bitcoin. We're going to go over 3M. We're going to go over Zuckerberg and Meta and Apple, the fight that happened this weekend. We'll go over bank earnings. There's a lot, so just bear with me. But my apologies to anybody who took offense to my rant on last week about if you didn't hear it, I had to put in Spotfiy that it was explicit language. I won't put that in here because I'm just going to say namaste MFer. So no explicit language so I don't get canceled. But if you took offense to it, my apologies. I was just in a mood. And my apologies for that mood. But if you make it, step back. And if you make a comment about something and it's not constructive and it's not, the glass is half full. If you make a comment about the glass being half empty, just know the nails come out. They do. And I get angry. But let's get ready for the opening of this market. It's going to be a mess. The market is continuing to reset with the assumption that the Fed won't cut rates. That the term "don't fight the Fed," that's what you're seeing right now because the market overpriced all of the rate cuts. So the short-term charts indicate bounces. Let's take a look at the 4-hour. Look, the RSI on the 4-hour here on QQQ. Look, it's down here at 37. It's oversold. We should be bouncing up. The last time it was at 30, it was September 6th. And the Qs were trading at $450. You're trading at 507 right now. In pre-market, it's 501. Should come up, right? Look at the MACD. It's below the oscillator. Boy, the last time it was below the oscillator, same time period. It was way down. You know, RSI was at 48 and we should bounce up, right? Well, what's that green line there, you might say? That green line is a trend line that I put in, okay? How did I do it? I anchored it here off the COVID lows. And so when you put that trend line in, let's take a look at this because this is where we're trading right now, okay? The RSI on the weekly is at 55. The MACD is above the oscillator and it's crossing down. That's a bearish signal. Go and look up MACD. Go and study the MACD. Understand what that means. This is a long-term chart, okay? The price action is just below the 9-day EMA. It's getting to the 21. We haven't even touched the 50-day yet on the long term. So when you say it feels bad, well, let's take a look where we're at. Because even on the short term, yes, you were trading up near 540 on the Qs. Well, let's take a look. Last time we were here, November 26th. Boy, go and look at the election day. Okay, we're at 504. Where are you trading in pre-market? 501. You gave back November and December. You didn't give back January through October. So it hasn't been a big pullback. I would expect this to continue on the way down. Why? Well, look at the fear and greed index. We're not in extreme fear yet. Okay? People are still selling. We've got a new administration coming in. They're threatening tariffs. We're hearing about inflation coming in. We know that they're not going to cut in January. Will they cut it all in March? Who knows? Don't fight the Fed. Okay? We're going to go over what steps you can take here. But look at the VIX at 21. That's big. That's big. So if you take a look at, again, what I urge people to do, you have to have a fundamental program, which could be FinViz, it could be Seeking Alpha, and you have a charting program. Any chart that you're looking at, I don't care if you get Trendspider. If you do want my 4-hour algorithm, if you do want Trendspider, it basically takes the training wheels off and you can do whatever you want in Trendspider. They have an AI strategy lab. They have my 4-hour algorithm, which is what you get when you sign up through me. And they have a sale. They have a sale continuing. I don't know when this is going to end, but FYI, it will end. Okay? And that advanced tier, make yourselves a New Year's resolution. That AI advanced tier right here for $82 a month, go and take 2 lessons a month. Okay? 2 lessons on Trendspider because you have unlimited one-on-one training. Go and take 2 lessons. Then you're paying $41 per lesson. Think of it that way. And you get the tool for free. You're not even paying for the tool if you pay $41 per lesson and you take 2 per month. So take advantage of that deal at $82.70 per month. Okay, how do you get there? Well, you go to Linktree. The link is literally right down below my head, linktr.ee/dailystockpick. You go to the top link right there. And essentially what you do is you just go and sign up. Then I will email you all of the links to get everything that you're going to see me use. Okay? Now, how do you track the VIX? How do you track the market data? It's Seeking Alpha. This is Seeking Alpha and it's premium. Okay? You can get this. When you go over here to market data, you can look at the key market data. You can look at all of the indexes, see where they are over 1 year. The S&P is up 21% still. Over 1 year, the NASDAQ is up 24%. You're just seeing year to date, which we're at the 13th, 1 month, 5 days today. Don't panic. Okay. And when you go to bonds, well, let's take a look. I tell you all the time, the 2-year and the 10-year are what you want to look at. The 10-year is the key. We're at 4.77. What's the 52-week high? 4.79. So bonds are up. The market is down. Do you want to buy bonds? Bonds haven't worked for me over 35 years. I am not a bonds guy. When you take the Series 7 the licensing course, I've been told, okay, 3 pages are stocks. The other 497 pages, it's all on bonds. I don't understand bonds whatsoever. Do I buy them? Hell no. So track all of this in Seeking Alpha. Track your own portfolio. You see it over there. You can get the top stocks of 2025. That's all included. Now, how do you get this? You go to the Linktree. linktr.ee/daily stock pick. You can pick one of three. Okay, there are three options here. You can pick the bundle, which comes with alpha picks. Okay, you get premium and alpha picks. Alpha picks is a data-driven portfolio. We'll go over that in a second. But premium is really what you want, and you save $159. Okay, this gets you your fundamental stuff. Or you can sign up for premium for a free 7-day trial. Get the 2025 top stocks. Sign up for the premium service using Linktree. Again, this is the third link here. Get just premium, and you can get that. You get a free 7-day trial on just premium. Okay, and you get $30 off. Or you can buy just alpha picks. If you want just, hey, I'm just going to buy these stocks, or you can use it for stock ideas. One or the other. But you see the data-driven portfolio, 161% versus 53%. Now, if we go over here, where is it? Let's see. I know I put it in here. It's one of these tabs. I'm going to go over it because everybody was complaining to me about alpha picks and their performance and how they're down. Let's look. Well, the portfolio's year-to-date returns, okay? This is just, this is since created. I'm sorry, this is since created, 161%. We just saw that on the slide. Versus 53% on the S&P. You're tripling the S&P. Now, this is year-to-date. Year-to-date, you're up 0.92%, 13 days in the year. The S&P is down 0.96%, and over 3 months, you are up 5%, where the S&P is only up 0.75%. So again, seeking alpha, it works. Get the bundle. That's why I would say get the bundle, because you save a ton of money, okay? And it gets you all of the data that you need to keep track of everything. That's what I like. So again, the fear of greed index, we're in fear. We're not in extreme, so you couldn't go down. The VIX is at 21. This can spike up to 40, and we'd still be fine, okay? Long-term investors, a small pullback off of all-time highs, perfect for dollar cost averaging your favorite stocks. The Twitter traders, they're all screaming, and you're going to see, even I named this one, the market is crashing, okay? Because people tune in for that stuff. That's why it's there. But in my mind, you're just buying on a discount, and it's not done yet. Look at that, okay? We don't even see a full turnover yet. This was July. If you look at July of this year, which felt bad, you went from 500 down to, let's see, the low was 423. That's when you were buying. But the MACD didn't reset. The RSI never got below 50. We're going there on a weekly. Okay, I just have a feeling that we're going there. So I'm deploying cash, and I'm not this guy, it's over. I do think you basically buy for the long term. Okay, there's a few types of traders right now. You're either selling because you're nervous, which would be a mistake in my mind, as long as you have good companies with good products, with good management and good earnings. If you've gotten into quantum stocks, they don't have good earnings. You know nothing about their management. You know nothing about their products, because quantum computing isn't a reality yet. The only quantum computing company that's actually making money, that has good management, that has good products, and has good products is Google. So it's not over. It's not over. Now, this is what's going to, well, let me talk about Eric first, because I want to thank Eric for reaching out to me. He said, hey, I want you to promote my my GoFundMe for the California wildfire victims. If you're not giving to his GoFundMe benefits the Red Cross. I have friends. I lived in California for 10 years. I have friends who have been evacuated. I don't know anybody who's actually lost their home, but there's a few friends who I just haven't been able to contact with because they're busy. So it's no joke. I mean, it really is. It's horrible out there. These are a lot of these people who in Altadena and stuff. I know those communities. I know those areas. These are people who are house rich, but probably cash poor. And they could use your help. So rather than doing a GoFundMe, I'm going to tell you to go and contribute to charity like the Red Cross. And I do. I personally set up a philanthropic fund that is called the Human Fund, and it's a Seinfeld reference. It is called the Human Fund. I set it up through Fidelity. So I can donate to the Red Cross. I can't do GoFundMe's. I can't do that stuff, but I do. I have donated to the Red Cross because they do. Whether it's the California wildfires, whether it's something else, the Red Cross is one that St. Jude's gets my money as well. There's a few a few charities that I do, but I do have the Human Fund. And you may ask me, well, why did you set that up in Fidelity? The reason is because I have Apple that I bought in 2006 for $2.48 per share. And so what I do is I take that share, and if you want to do this, go and talk to Fidelity. It's a very well-known program. But I take that share of Apple and I put it into the Human Fund at $2.48 per share. And you know what I get the tax write-off for? $233.06, which is where Apple is trading today. Okay, I put it into the Human Fund, and I can deploy that charity whenever I want, but I get the write-off today. So it's just a better way of me being tax efficient and actually being philanthropic and providing stuff. So that's just me. But again, Eric, thank you for reaching out. Thank you for reminding me. The reason I don't do GoFundMe's is because I just don't know people, and I've heard there are some shady people with GoFundMe's. So I just say, hey, just donate to the charity directly, or do whatever you can. So California wildfires, it's a big thing. Now, this is the real question for the next month and maybe the next year. Stock market's big battle this week. Yields. We went over the bond rate, how the 10-year's at its high for 52 weeks. You can ask yourself what's going to win, AI or the bonds? Because if you think that the bonds are going to win and inflation is going to come back in and the Fed has to raise the rates, then you probably want to sell some of your stuff. You probably want to take some profits. For me, I'm a permeable. I look at this stuff as on sale. We'll go over Warren Buffett's advice. But you don't hear anything about GLP-1s anymore. Doesn't mean that they're not still there. Doesn't mean that when Eli Lilly comes out with crazy good news about their GLP-1 being promoted for stubbing your toe in a hangnail, doesn't mean that it's not going to pop. But this is what you're dealing with, is that the yields are driving things down. The VIX is spiking. Don't fight the Fed. Bank of America revised its forecast, no longer expects any rate cuts in 2025. None. Given a resilient labor market, which we saw on Friday, we now think the Fed cutting cycle is over. And very likely that they may actually raise. So just be aware of this. Trendspider, we just went over how you can get it. The huge data update. And if you're not following Trendspider, follow them on Twitter. They have a great Twitter. They post charts all the time, and I'm retweeting them all the time. But go and find out about the data update. It's next level. StockTwit's top watch dynamic stock watch list. 47,000 NASDAQ global indexes. CME spread coverage. So much more. Go and read about it. If you have Trendspider, I would urge you to go and read about it. It's a huge data update. There's tons of new stuff to follow, tons of new stuff out there. This is the complete update. This is great. Again, part of what I want in this is the StockTwits watch list. That's what I want. So I like that. I like it. Struggling to find winners in a choppy market? Again, subscribe to Trendspider, and you can import this quarterly relative performance scan, which finds stocks. Okay, you can import this. You just click on this, import it into your setup. Boom, you're scanning off of any watch list you have. This one does the S&P. You can do the daily stock pick core portfolio. You could do alpha picks. You can do your own portfolio as long as you set it up in a watch list. But that's the key of, if you have Trendspider, follow Trendspider on Twitter at least, and sign up for their newsletter. This is the market update that came out this weekend. And they put out a great gold chart. A great gold chart. This is it. That breakout volume on Friday with gold. We can go look at GLD right now. GLD might be breaking out. Again, when people run for safety, they're running for gold. And GLD is how you invest in it. Now it's down 0.79. But again, look at this run that it's been on. You can see, are we putting in a shelf right here? Is it going to go higher? Look at the MACD resetting on the weekly. Look at the RSI coming down on the weekly. This has come down more than the indexes. So is this setting up? Again, is this setting up for some type of run? Look at that. The breakout volume. Look at the volume right at that shelf. Okay, the blue line is the 50-day SMA, and it's right there. So is gold breaking out? I don't know. The NASDAQ, grave danger. This is called a gravestone doji on a monthly chart, and it came in December. Okay, it came in December. This could be and look, Bullish Bites, who we follow, they listen to the podcast. They Investopedia. What, you don't know what a gravestone doji is? They just link to it right here on Investopedia. How to trade it, an example. So again, you have to be following these charts. If you don't understand the charts, just follow Trendspider, and you can go and get yourself a Webull. I talk about Webull all the time. They have a free desktop software. Plus, join Webull and you get 75 free stocks. It's right here on Linktree. Go and get Webull. You can get charts. Use Active Trader Pro. Use Thinkorswim. Use any of the free programs. Just understand Trendspider is posting charts like this in Trendspider, but you can commute it over to your own trading. And if you don't like your own trading charting program, get Trendspider. Now, this one's interesting. 3M. They have new management. Is this one setting up to move up? That's a nice little wedge right there. You can see the squeeze, 6-week squeeze. This could be making a move up. Let's go and look at 3M in the 4-hour algorithm. Okay, 4-hour algorithm, you can see the weekly chart right there. Has you in at 128. Where are you trading right now? The stock price in pre-market is at 130. But look at that nice trade right there at 130, how it's setting up as resistance. Okay, and you look at this stock from a long term, and it's setting up to maybe go back to these highs. The 50-day has turned. The 50-day may be crossing the 200-day. That's called a golden cross. Go and look it up at Investopedia.com. Okay, the 4-hour algorithm on 3M makes you 59.2% over 24 months. What do you get if you bought and held? You make 29%. You win 46% of the time. That buy here at 128, you're not far off from that trading at 131. You want to be in there if this one is going to take off. Okay, hold on one second. It's not recognizing me. So I've got to send it back to here and then to here. Sorry. That won't be the last time I pause it because my nose. So 3M. Just think about it. I mean, there's an opportunity that I'm giving you. Now, this was a great Personal Finance Club. He does a great job of telling you and it's a clickbaity title. He's like, the market is crashing. Go and watch this. I'll put it in the newsletter. Go and watch this. It's a great clip about just the crash and how the S&P 500 is absolutely worth buying into. And yes, you should have the S&P 500. But we talk about beating the S&P 500 all the time with your portfolio. You know how are you going to match the S&P 500? It's VOO. Okay, this is the lowest cost expensed S&P tracking fund right here. And the market just opened up, and you can see we've got a little green candle right there. If we turn on the after hours, are we going up? Well, look, it's kind of moving up. Look at the 9-day and stuff like that. Again, you want to buy into if you buy into VOO, you're at least guaranteed matching the S&P. And the point of this is it's the S&P 500, and it's not a static list of 500 names. They change. Okay, that's an important figure, because if you remember, for some of the OG folks, last year CNN said the ChatGPT can pick stocks better than your fund manager. So they tested it with 50K. So far, it's done really well, up 42% since launch, and it's picked 14 new stocks for January. Go and look at the 14 new stocks. Okay, these are the reasons why it picked these stocks. You can get more of them by paying into this. I don't think you should pay into it, but you should pay attention to what ChatGPT is saying. Amazon, Broadcom, Salesforce, AMD, Danaher, Progressive Insurance, Amphenol, Regeneron, American Homes for Rent, ARC, Genomic, Revolution. There's a lot of names there. So again, just longtime listeners will remember this one. I thought it was interesting. I did a couple of plays on this. It worked out well. So this was just the Alpha Picks performance. We're going to go through that. Now, maybe you're thinking about Tom Lee. Tom Lee says that hey, don't sit on IWM. Well, look, this is the one. Tom Lee says small caps can outperform by 100% over the next couple of years based on Trump's policies. IWM is sitting at those. It hit just past the all-time highs there, and it's just pulled back. It's pulled back. So you get a chance to, again, IWM is one that will benefit from rate cuts. If there are no rate cuts, IWM may get killed. Just understand that. If there are no rate cuts, IWM may get killed because the Fed may be thinking about putting inflation in its place and they'll have to raise again. But look at IWM on the 4-hour, okay? The 4-hour, it got you out on Friday. The RSI is at 28. The MACD is super, super low. Let's go to the weekly. Where does IWM sit? IWM with the RSI is at 45. The MACD is just above the oscillator. And you can see, what's that green line? Well, that's a trend that we drew from the COVID lows. And it's just sitting at that trend line. Yes, it broke it back here in 2023 at the lows. That was a good buy. So in my mind, if you break that trend, maybe it's a good buy right here. But don't go balls deep. You don't want to go too deep. You don't want to blow it right away. But again, Tom Lee right there. Just FYI, as part of the Daily Stock Pick newsletter, and the newsletter is for free most of the time. During the week, it is free. But the weekends and special times when the market is closed, I am doing special things for the paid members. I am creating a 2025 portfolio that I hope will outperform the S&P. I will be tracking it on Savvy Trader. Okay, Savvy Trader is right here. You can follow my trades. I have 2 portfolios right now. There will be a third. This first portfolio is the Daily Stock Pick core portfolio. Okay, this is 34 positions. It's 100 shares per name, but it's 34 positions that has beaten the S&P. We can go back and look at SPY. Okay, look, it's done really well. I just bought this. You know, when a stock gets entered, I buy 100 shares. When a stock gets taken out, I sell 100 shares. And it's a long-term portfolio. I would never suggest you manage your portfolio like this. And that's why I'm going to do the 2025 portfolio. Is I'm going to take 10 stocks and I will track it in Savvy Trader. It will be a charged portfolio. Okay, $299 per year. But if you sign up for the newsletter and you're a paid member, you will get that included as part of the paid membership. So when I launch it, you can take a look at it. We're going to start tracking it, but I will launch it. And there will be a coupon code for everybody who's a paid member of the Daily Stock Pick newsletter. It's just something that I thought of with the top stocks from Seeking Alpha, and I thought it was good. And if you wanted, by the way, the newsletter this weekend, I went over Seeking Alpha's top 10 stocks to buy. I went over stock 10 through 6, and I said, okay, here's where I'm going to look at buying. And here's what my strategy is to get into these. And yes, I will absolutely get into them. That's what I did on Saturday. So I thought it was a good podcast. Now let's talk about this weekend. I'm going to talk about my little book this weekend because this little douchebag right here, he went after Apple. In my world, you know, I'm the savior of Apple because this douchebag right now, I just don't like this guy right now. But he is a great leader. I still hold Meta stock, and I do think he's talking his own book. So he's basically slams Apple for the lack of innovation, squeezing people for money. Understand, this is him being a very good CEO. I still take it a little personally because let's not forget, Meta has never invented anything great. Facebook was a ripoff of MySpace, and shout out to my top 8. Okay, if you're an OG and you remember MySpace, shout out to my top 8. Oculus was an acquisition. WhatsApp was an acquisition. Instagram was an acquisition. And intermixed with all of these is Threads, which was a copycat of Twitter, which, you know, Instagram has a Snapchat built into it, just copied. Okay, as for the Apple Vision Pro, Meta fired up its photocopiers right as Vision Pro launched to mimic Apple's innovative spatial computer design. The company has also rolled out upgraded hand tracking, gestures, spatial video support, and more that Apple Vision had first. The Apple Vision Pro's influence is clear, even if Zuck thinks the Quest is a better product. Zuck is a great CEO. He's talking his own book. I do think Meta is a great stock to own. So is Apple. This is a calculated, okay? He's a wolf in sheep's clothing. It's clear. He's going to get headlines. But he's throwing it up there. Do not mistake that this was the exact discussion that went on at Mar-a-Lago. He threw it up there. He threw this, and he threw out his, the community note strategy between Trump and Musk. And they said, yeah, we think that's a good thing. It's a calculated risk. Okay. He wants regulation that's in his favor. So what's he doing? He's ponying up. And he's saying to the administration, you know, we think Apple needs to get under control. And make no mistake, Donald Trump called Tim Cook Tim Apple. He's probably not one of his favorite people. So I do think that Meta and Apple are both buys. I think on dips, I think you get these stocks. I think you're perfectly fine in both of them. Get Meta under 600. Get Apple whenever you can, whenever you think it's good. Because here's the thing, really liking the weekly wick off the previous all-time high zones. This is a chart of Apple. This is a weekly wick. Okay, I don't use those wicking candles, but if we go and look at we look at Apple, it's down 2.55%. My portfolio is getting absolutely decimated. Absolutely decimated here. Okay, we're back at the 200-day. When's the last time you were at the 200-day? Back here at 227. Are we going back there? Yeah, we're probably breaking down here. Where are we going? Well, let's take a look at the weekly because we know right now, look at that. If I just move this over a little bit right here, the RSI is at 23 on the 4-hour. The MACD is way down here. Okay, it hasn't been down here below. The last time it was down here, it crossed up and we saw the stock pump. So where are we on the weekly? Again, the MACD is still elevated. The RSI is coming off of a 73 level, and it's just down at 51. You're not even oversold yet. So is this the pullback that everybody's been warning about? The Mag 7's getting killed. Is it a turnaround right now? I don't know. I mean, this weekly candle looks really good right there, but we're continuing down. So are you going to break down on this weekly chart? And is it going to pump back up? For me, the 4-hour algorithm, I find entries with on Apple, okay? It does well, 69% over the last 24 months. You only win 37% of the time, and that's because the exits get you out. You can't argue with this weekly trend. It is still in an upward trend. Every time you've broken down on the 50-day, it's been an opportunity, okay? The 50-day. Where's the 50-day? It's at 211. We could be going down to 211. You could. I mean, even if you pull back this volume level right there to July 2023, where it popped up and then we went down and we just traded sideways, pull that up. We don't have volume shelves up here. Where's the volume shelf? It's at 200. So we could break that 200, that 50-day right there. That would be an opportunity for me. So am I looking at this weekly and saying I got to buy Apple? If you want to build your position in Apple, I don't think it's a bad time to build your position in Apple. Now, ASML, this is Applied Materials. This is a great 18-minute video. I watched like 7 to 9 minutes of this one. It gives you a great view of why it's such an interesting business. So if you're interested in that, I think it's a great play. Now, we're talking about buying Apple here. I mean, let's not forget, November 2022, that was 2 years ago and 2 months ago, 26 months. NVIDIA was trading at 15. It's 136 today. Meta was trading at 90. It's 615 today. Tesla was trading at 180. It's 393. Amazon was trading at 90. It didn't feel good to buy these at that time. It didn't. November 2022, it didn't feel good. I mean, Apple was trading at 140. It's 236. Let's take a look at NVIDIA. Because NVIDIA, you know, you've got the Biden administration coming out and saying, hey, we're going to restrict some of these chips. Let's look at November 2022. I mean, again, look at that October low right there. Look at this. Did it feel good buying down here at the 200-day? I don't know. I mean, I did. Did you? So my point is, there are times to buy, and usually times to buy don't feel comfortable. But it's a muscle that you've got to do. Now, in a potential market correction in 2025, some companies may have already completed their downturn. This is 4 companies that you can take a look at. There's Adobe, New Holdings, Transmedics, which just had a short report on it, and ASML. It's interesting. Interesting. Again, opportunities. This is a great podcast, by the way. If you don't listen to the BG2 podcast, this is Brad Gerstner, who I really like. New pod 2025 frameworks, lots of charts in this one. Valuations, compute, CapEx, rates, inflation. They go into specifics, super specifics. So it's a good one. Now, next one. Sam Altman says people will lose their jobs to AI and not everyone's going to like all of the impacts. This is kind of, you know, again, this is coming. Whether you like it or not, I love AI, but I do think that this will widen the wealth gap. I just think those people who understand AI will continue to keep their jobs. Those people who can compute on AI will continue to keep their jobs. I think those people who are leaving it behind and not understanding it, understand AI. Go and play with Claude. Go and play with some of the things that you have in Gemini. Go and play with AI. Instead of taking an hour and watching a Netflix show, hop on your computer and just go to YouTube and type in, how can I use AI to better my job? That's it. That's it. Or better my business, or to find something that a second source of income. Go and Google that kind of stuff. AI is coming. Okay? Here are the 10 largest banks in 2025, among them from Barclays. Top 10 large bank predictions for this year. Banks will climb, outperform the S&P 500. I said it in one of my predictions. I think the financials do really well. Medians Bank, that we have earnings coming up this week. So there are 10 things in here that Barclays outlays for financials. I think it's a good article. I read that one. This is an interesting play from Substack, and I saw Stock Opine is a newsletter that I actually subscribe to. I thought this was interesting. According to the European Heat Pump Association, if annual sales of heat pumps in the EU remain at the 2023 level of 3 million units, the total number of installed heat pumps would rise from 24 million to 2023 to 45 million by 2030. That's 25% short of the EU's target. That means they have to quicken the pace of heat pumps. In order for the EU to meet its ambitious goal of 60 million installed heat pumps by 2030, heat pumps would need to grow at a compound annual growth rate of 14%. And they recommend CARR. Why? That's Carrier. Okay? Let's look at Carrier's chart. You had the death cross right here on a 4-hour. You're continuing down. Your RSI at 31. Your MACD is below the oscillator. Let's go and look at a weekly. Because on a weekly, we talk about that MACD being reset. Looks like it's reset, and it looks like the RSI is back down at 41. Okay, we just have the 200-day. The 200 and the 50 are still moving. What's been the support here on the weekly? It's been the 50-day. Where are you? On the 50-day. I thought that between this and this chart, interesting play. Interesting. And let's go and look at some of the fundamentals of Carrier. Let's see what Carrier says in Seeking Alpha. Well, Seeking Alpha says it's a hold. Why? Because of the valuation. The PEG ratio is 2.5. That means growth isn't very good. And when you took it, the earnings per share growth, it's minus 61%. Again, this is a company that's probably got some huge numbers to go. Levered free cash flow year over year down 34%. When you take a look at the stock chart, it looks pretty damn good. So it's being held up by something. Maybe it's this EU stuff. So I thought it was an interesting play. I continue to say that there's other options out there. One of them that's not an option is Carvana. The Carvana CEO, when asked to explain his boosted profit, remember there was a short report on this last week. We're going to go and look at the chart. But the CEO explained boosted profitability and says it would take a while to talk about it and I would bore your viewers. And meanwhile, the short report says they're boosting their profits, falsifying them. Okay, that's a short report. It started coming out, I think in December it came out. But on the 4-hour, looks good. I mean, again, on the 4-hour, you make 2,694%. Buying and holding, you make over the last 24 months, 4,030%. You only win 39% of the time, but your average win is 87%. Is this one that you want to look at? Well, look at how well that one's setting up for a nice pop. If it's real, and that's the problem, if it's real. Look at the weekly. Your MACD still hasn't come down to the oscillator. Look at the RSI. It's still in no man's land at 51. Look at the golden cross just happened here. I would expect this one to start pulling back. Why? For me, it's too expensive. I mean, we can look at this one. It's a strong buy in the quant, but I just don't like, they're not making money and their forward PE is 131. The growth is a C. I don't understand how the quant says it's a strong buy, but they say it's a strong buy. Wall Street says the price target is 252. I don't get it. Again, when a CEO comes out and says that, and a short report comes out saying that they're falsifying it, that's where I'm throwing up the red flag and I'm saying, I just don't want this. Now, CES focused on AI and accelerated compute. These companies are likely to benefit. This one goes over NVIDIA, Marvell, and Micron. And I thought it was interesting. They have Skyworks Solutions in there as well. I thought it was interesting. Again, I'm a large cap tech investor. NVIDIA is down today. It's down 2.85%. It's at 131. Yes, I bought it like 136, 137. I bought some lots in there. Why? Look at this. It's using this as resistance, 140 as resistance. And it's popping up every now and then. But if we go and we look at the weekly, it's stretched. Now, I do think earnings support a 140 price point. If we go and we look at NVIDIA in the quant, Right now, it's still a hold. It's a hold in the quant, and it's been a hold for a long time. Okay, a super long time. It's the valuation, but the PEG ratio is still good. Why? Because their growth is so good. Now, here's the problem. The comps of NVIDIA are so good. If they don't, grow at 152% and say they only grow at 140%, that stock price is going to start to slow down and it's going to start to hit. But what's Wall Street's price target? It's $172. That's 30% upside from here. So in my mind, I think that's a realistic price target because I think the valuation comes into play here. And I think the valuation right now isn't stretched. You can buy this cheaper today than it was like 5 years ago. So again, CES focused on that stuff. If you are a Seeking Alpha premium customer, you should be following the Undercover Dozen. I will put this in the newsletter. Just go and you hit follow right here, and it shows up in your My Analysts right there. It's another benefit. But these are Undercover series highlights lesser covered stocks offering investment ideas and encouraging discussion among investors. Fannie Mae, Civitas, LifeVantage, and Zenitech. These are good stocks to see if you want to trade them, if you want to invest in them. It's a great, great one. I actually like this one. I follow very few of them. Undercover Dozen is one of them that I actually follow. Now, Tori Trades, who we've talked about the trend lines and stuff, she put out a quick guide how to fix common swing trade mistakes. This is, it's kind of basic, but I thought it was pretty well laid out. For day traders. This is, again, swing trading and day trading. This is trading on charts. And so this isn't looking at the fundamentals. I do a combination of both, but I thought this was interesting. So this was great. Warren Buffett, you just got to listen to 90% of the people that buy stocks don't think of them the right way. They think of them as something that they hope goes up next week. I think about what the company is going to be worth in 10 to 20 years from now. Again, good companies, good products. I mean, he's just a long-term investor. The dip that you're seeing right now from November to January, he wouldn't even be worried about it. And he's not worried about it. He's putting his cash into Oxy. I mean, Occidental Petroleum, this is not one that you would, somebody would ever say, oh my God, I've got to put more money into this one. He puts more money into it. And look at it now. I mean, it's up over the 200 day. If you bought it for that $47, boy, that was great. But that's just a short term. If you look at a weekly on this one, it's beaten down. So is this one that you buy on the dip? I don't know. But he's buying it on the dip. So go and listen to that quote. It's a great discussion. We talked about using AI and the people will fall behind. Here's a great, great prompt, okay? Claude, which is one that I use. Go and do this. 10 prompts to master budgeting, investing, and making money like a pro. 10 prompts. And he guides you through how to use Claude to make money. I didn't catch that one. Be able to go off camera on that one, but I caught it before the recording. So be one of those people that actually understands AI. Go and do it. Now, here's a great one, because I don't know if I've mentioned it recently, but in years past during the bear markets, I would always mention the Nifty 50, and I forget his name. He's a legendary investor. His name's on the tip of my tongue, but he's always on CNBC. He's one of Warren Buffett's friends. He's a billionaire, and he talks about the Nifty 50. Nifty 50 were 50 stocks in the 70s that were never going to drop. Okay, think companies like Google and Apple will dominate forever. Think again. The giants of Wall Street are almost always changing every decade. In 1958, the average lifespan of the S&P was 61 years. By 2020, that dropped to just 21 years. 21 years, okay? Why it's happening? It's all about faster disruption, transformative as technology evolves, blah, blah, blah. With AI entering the game, we're likely to see that 21 years come down to 10 or 15. The beauty of the S&P is it automatically adapts. If a company starts struggling or losing money, it's replaced by a stronger company, all without you having to do a thing. This means you're always invested in some of the best companies at any given time. Companies can be kicked out of the index by being overtaken by faster growing companies, falling below company size requirements, merging, being acquired, or going bankrupt. The S&P is not a stagnant list of 500 companies. It's constantly evolving and changing based on the business environment. Every year, about 25 companies are swapped out for new ones, keeping the index fresh and relevant. We just saw that Palantir got added to the S&P and others got added to the S&P. You want to be in VOO. During times like this, you want to be, you know when NVIDIA was added to VOO? 2001. You know when it was added to QQQ? 2001. We went over that one. Earnings this week. Okay, we've got a big week of earnings. It starts. We'll go over to Earnings Hub right now. I think I have to sign into Earnings Hub unless I'm signed. Oh, I'm signed in already. We have earnings coming up from JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, BlackRock, Citigroup, Wells Fargo. Okay, Taiwan Semi, United Health, Bank of America, Morgan Stanley, U.S. Bank, Schlumberger, Fastenal, Truist. Big week of earnings. Bank earnings. Okay, earnings this week. This lays it out. What you want to see. Monday, we have KB Homes scheduled to report. That Homes, it's going to be a big topic. Applied Digital. It's coming up on Tuesday. Wednesday, you have all of the banks. Taiwan Semi is reporting Thursday. Okay, Bank of America is reporting. All of this stuff, you can read all about that in that article. Go to Earnings Hub and you can see, if you just click on Earnings Hub, you can see the estimates. I mean, we can look at JP Morgan. Revenue expected $40.52 billion. Earnings per share estimate $3.75. What'd they report last time? $4.01. Okay. Revenues, they reported $4.37. That's been taken down. $3.75 is the estimate. Last time they reported $4.37. So earnings should need to be good in order to be the catalyst for this. Watch these stocks a week amid the retail conference. Lululemon just announced crazy. There's Abercrombie and Finch. There is Shark Ninja. All of this in the weekly this retail conference this week. So Bitcoin. Let's talk about Bitcoin because it's down to 91,000. Bitcoin falls to its low levels since November as investors reassess rate cuts. You can track this in Trendspider. BTC upper tilde, I don't know what that's called, USD, and then we use the Coinbase one. And you can track this one. Look at that's the 4 hour. 4 hour got you out today. Okay. The 4 hour algorithm makes you 44.3% versus buying and holding makes you 34.9% over the last 5 months. 5 months. Remember, Bitcoin trades 24/7. You can trade it in the 4 hour algorithm. If we go and look at a weekly of Bitcoin, you can see, look at how stretched Bitcoin is on the weekly. Look at the RSI. It's at 60. So do I expect a pullback? Absolutely. Where do I expect it to go to? I think it could go back to, the first stop is going to be this 21 day at 81,000. It could go back to the 50 day at 71,000. That would be a buying opportunity. Okay. Look at how the 50 day has been used as support. Bollinger Bands are still wide open. So I will be buying more IBIT and more MicroStrategy when they come to play. We can look at MicroStrategy. They just bought a ton more Bitcoin today. It was announced in the market today. Let's see. It is at 319. It's down 2.43%. You know, that 348 doesn't look real good. You had confirmation up here at 352. This candle right here lost confirmation. Your open was 343. Your close was 341. I would have sold as it lost confirmation. That's just, you look at the weekly of MicroStrategy, it's stretched. It's stretched. So again, if I can wrap up this entire episode and tell you there are two things. One, yes, we're in a market correction. Why? Because the Fed isn't cutting rates. Two, earnings may be a catalyst. Okay? Three, you should be buying for a long-term position right now. Those are the differences between people who look at these stocks on sale and look at these stocks as crashing because we're just back to November. It's nothing to freak out about. Nothing to get overly, upset about. Now let's talk about scans in the 4-hour algorithm. Abercrombie and Finch. This one got you in at 146. Today's candle right here, it's down. Let's see. Is it down? There's a buying opportunity. It's down 17%. They must have announced something. Let's see. Abercrombie and Finch is an alpha pick. Let's see what it comes back at. Biggest movers. Let's say it's going to be ANF. Let's go down here. The company boosting its sales, forecasting significant outperformance of the alpha forward plan financial targets. CEO Frank highlighted that fiscal. The company is focused on leveraging its healthy margins and balance sheet. God, they dropped more than 7%. I mean, it continues to fall. Why? Let's take a look at a weekly. It's reset. I mean, this support level at 134, you're at 132. I might buy more of this thing. I mean, look at that MACD down there. Is this one a crazy, let's go and look at ANF in the quant. It's a buy. Valuation is a C. It's not bad. It's ranked number 7 out of 25. The quant has had as a buy since 154. It had as a strong buy at 161, and then it went to a hold. So it's been going down, and it's because of the valuation. The valuation is a bit stretched. Why? We can take a look at this virtual analyst report. Take a look at this. And its competitors, American Eagle Outfitters, Gap, Urban Outfitters. You can see valuation presents a mixed valuation scenario. For instance, price to book ratio of 5.14 is significantly higher than the sector of 2.66, indicating a costly stock. However, its forward PE of 14 is more attractive than the sector at 17. Growth ANF's growth metrics are outstanding with forward earnings per share growth of 256. Profitability, ANF boasts excellent profitability with net income margin of 11%. The market doesn't like it for some reason. I mean, look at that. And it got a buy-in on the 4-hour algorithm. Maybe that's a good one. Another one that got a buy-in, Royal Caribbean. I mean, everybody's taking cruises. 227. Do you want to buy this one? Well, MACD's down below. The RSI's at 38. This one went up to 257. You're at 226. So let's take a look at a weekly chart. And you can see MACD is still super high. RSI's at 63. And it got a buy-in on the 4-hour algorithm. Is the 4-hour algorithm perfect? No. It wins 32% of the time on this one. Your average win is 20%. Is this the time to buy? I don't know. I mean, using that 200-day as support, if we just pull this back the last couple of times that it's pulled back towards that 200-day, has been a level of takeoff. So we can go and take a look at Royal Caribbean in Seeking Alpha. This is an alpha pick as well, and we can look at it. It's a hold. Why the valuation? The valuation's a bit stretched. Look at it. I mean, the PEG ratio is 0.13. The growth is great. You can look at it. We'll pull up the virtual analyst report and look at it. We can say valuation is challenged with a price to book of 9 compared to the sector of 3, indicating the stock is expensive compared to peers. Additionally, the price to sales ratio of 4 is substantially higher. Royal Caribbean on growth, impressive growth metrics. Notably, the revenue growth is 27%, far exceeding the sectors of 3%. Profitability, the company boasts strong profitability with a net margin of 16%. So you can take a look. Again, all of this stuff presents itself. Would I be buying for short term right now? Absolutely not, unless you're buying on the short side. If you're buying something like SQQQ, I mean, we can take a look at SQQQ. Say you want to hedge against stuff. So the lesson is, again, if you want to hedge against stuff, I'm a bull. I rarely buy into this. The algorithm got you in January 8th at $30. You're at $32.77. So it's almost a 10% gain. Now, these are decaying assets, so they always lose money. But I've gone on long enough. If you have any questions, hit me up. Remember, the Trendspider sale is going. And if you wanted, I mean, honestly, I would probably do, even if you didn't want to get Seeking Alpha Premium, just go and get this free 7-day trial, okay, and $30 off. Go and get it so that you can go over here and you can go to the top stocks of 2025. The reason you want this is because 2023 and 2024 were each up 140%. Okay, they were each up 140%. They've crushed it. So even if you're going to do nothing, just go and get the $30 off and you start your free 7-day trial and then cancel it after 5 days. That's what I would do. Okay. Take care. See you. Bye. Oofa. I don't know how long that was, but it was a long one. Because it's already 10:10. Holy crap, that was long. Nobody complained that I don't give shit for free. Because my voice is tagged too. Let's see. I'm going to do that. And holy shit, 57 minutes. My voice is tanked. Boom, boom, boom. And then we're going to do this. Okay, now I got to add this a little together. And we're going to put in a green screen. Oofa. Now we'll go to the next one. We'll put in this. And we'll do... Okay, let's see. I just got to edit this stuff out. Bum, bum, bum. Okay, and we're going to edit this one together. Wah, wah. Okay. Okay, and I'm going to export into 113 pod. Oofa. Ah, thanks, Hunter. I thought it was a pretty good podcast. I mean, let's see how much my portfolio has lost because this ain't no joke. Let's see, portfolio. Oof. Oof. I'm not poor, but I'm poorer than I was yesterday. Yeah. So, is Dell getting murdered? Let's see. 5%. I mean, here's the thing. You've broken down from this trend line. So, Bollinger Bands, not great, but I think anything that's run up and, you know, look at Dell. Let's see. What's Dell? Is Dell a hold in the quant? Yeah, it's a hold in the quant. It's ranked number 14 out of 28. What's IONQ is actually the number 1 technology stock. And that's down 10%. I'd rather own Dell than IONQ. So, I mean, it's just a matter of, let's see, Quantum Corporation down 20%. This is a shakeout of froth. I mean, it's just everything's getting, there's not one thing that's going to take taken down. It's all going to get taken down. Let's see. That's a good article. Top seeking alpha quant picks. I mean, PayPal's a strong buy. FYI, top stock. And this one's down 0.64. I mean, in a market that's down that much and PayPal's holding up, Wall Street says it's a $94 price target, which is 14% upside. So, and let's see. And PayPal, if I'm not mistaken, I think that has a nice weekly chart. Pfizer, I hate Roger. I mean, you could play the bottom of Pfizer, but I just don't believe in Pfizer as the... that's interesting. It's broken off of that one. I think the market, I mean, here's the thing. I don't think you're looking for, if you're trading something in this, you're trading it. But I think if you're buying something, in my mind, you look at the Qs, they're at 501. This isn't anything that's, horrible. I mean, you're at the 200 day. The 200 day is right there at 496. So in my mind, I don't think you come back wholeheartedly from this, but oh, okay. I'm gonna go because I got a lot to do, and I need to blow my nose anyway. But I will talk to you guys tomorrow. I got 40 thumbs up and 41 people, so thank you. See you guys. Bye.
Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Listen now. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Listen now. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears.